It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me, when people come to me and say, hey, have you heard the word? Like, dude, like, if the word was so powerful as you say it is, why do you have to sell it to me? Why do you have to sell it to me? So it's like, just relax. Believe what you want to believe, but like, I live in a reality, okay? Like, we live in a giant universe where things are floating around and interacting with each other, and like things are happening and we don't know why, and that's okay. And you can think about why, and that is meaningful to you. But when you come to my house and you ask me to join your religion, that's rude, okay? Like that's rude. Okay, I don't want to join your religion, and I don't want you coming in here to try to convert people, okay? I definitely don't want to hear it. And so it's like, yeah, that's why, 5-minute timeout, okay? Like, don't come in here and try to sell me a religion. That's just, I don't like it on my channel at all. Like, yeah, we can talk a little bit about politics, and politics are similar. Like, don't come in here and try to say, like, hey, Marxist was blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with talking about it a little, but, there's a point where people get a little aggressive, right? Where like you start getting into dogmatic ways of thinking. I freaking hate people who go all over Twitter and like they basically carry around a communist manifesto with them everywhere they go, and they try to constantly talk about it. And I'm like, dude, do you want to talk about the fact that you like that book, or do you want to talk about the things that actually are meaningful to people? Which, the things that are meaningful is we exist in a world where there are multiple problems, and we need to solve those problems. And one of those problems is that many people can't afford healthcare. And so like there's this profit model that is only helping people line the pockets of like the pharmaceutical companies and the the insurance companies. And it's like, well, what's the point? Lining the pockets of these people or helping people? And you have to ask yourself, if you want to help people, does this really help? No, it hurts. Because so many people, if they get sick, they won't go to the doctor. In this country, in the United States, and in other countries where profit is the main factor. And people will say, and it's like people will defend it to the death, even the people who are affected by it most, because they like this weird idea of picking yourself up by the bootstraps. Like, dude, nobody except for like these top percentage of people, like a very small amount of people, are actually picking themselves up by the bootstraps and profiting. Nobody else is profiting. And this idea that you can just pick yourself up by the bootstraps if you work hard is a lie. Okay? It's just like Twitch streamers. If you put in 8 hours a day of streaming, you're still gonna have like 1 viewer or 0 viewers after like years of work. Okay, so that's not how it works. Okay, like the reason to have socialism is not because it's socialism. The reason to have socialism is if it works. And the thing is like when you say things like socialism doesn't work, you're saying a dogmatic belief. You're saying it doesn't work because it doesn't work and I said so. And that's because in history, anybody who's tried implementing something close to Marxism, like communism in like USSR, it ended up becoming fascism. And the fascism is the problem. And fascism, it's really capitalism pretending to be socialism. So true socialism works. Like the COVID vaccine. The COVID vaccine is freely available. And the problem is that people are refusing to take it. And that's the real problem, is that people like fall prey to misinformation. And that's the real pandemic. It's been a pandemic for a long time, and it's the root of pretty much every problem that we have. So until we can solve this misinformation problem, there's going to be racism, there's going to be sexism, there's going to be transphobia and homophobia and xenophobia. Like, it's because people are like, life is a game of football.